It's Taxi Vlog 339. It is the 8th of January, Thursday, beginning of my shift, 6:33 p.m. For a Thursday, there seems to be a fair amount of traffic out here. It's not really cold, but it's really damp, so the damp makes it feel colder than it is. If you've never experienced this kind of damp cold, you don't know what I'm talking about. You think, oh, 7 degrees Celsius, that's just balmy. Yeah, but it gets right into your bones with the amount of humidity we've got going. I came out to work on Monday not expecting a lot, and not a lot is what I got for a while. And around 10 o'clock it started moving, and it started moving really well. I had a few longer fares, like in the $20–30 range, and a couple of them, thankfully, were people who were having problems with their spouses. One of them, it was a guy, I was picking him up from an apartment building and taking him to a house, and he was saying he's been married 10 years. They have 2 children, but it seems like he's doing all the compromising and she's not. And he doesn't know whether he should stay with her or leave her or whatever. And then he said that they are going through counseling, and you know, I just thought about it and figured, you know, not all people who are together are going to be happy being together. If you're going to be really unhappy, what's the point of being together, I say. Yeah. I had this other one later on, and she was talking about her husband running around and doing drugs, and that she was able to keep him clean for 3 years, but an old friend showed up on the doorstep and they started doing drugs again, and so he's running around, and she's telling all their friends not to give him any money if he should show up at home and at their place, and he's out trying to get drugs, and she's got all the bank cards and credit cards and cards and everything. Well, you know, and she says, and he lies to me. I said, well, that's what drug addicts do. They lie to you. The only thing on their mind is to get high, and anything that will allow them to do so, any lie that will get them to get what they want, they won't hold back. They will resort to anything. I should know. I have a relative who's a drug addict, and it's hard. And of course, I have dealt with enough drug addicts in this business to know how they are sometimes, and some of them can be really horrible. I had one guy one time who had $20 in his hand to pay me the cab fare, but he had to go inside the house to borrow $20 to pay the cab fare so that he could still have his $20, if that makes any sense. Well, I got through that all right, and I had a reasonable night in the end of it after those few longer fares, and I did sit in the parking lot a little bit, and I did read a bit. And oh yeah, in the middle of that shift I ended up going out to the airport to pick up Cindy and bring her home, because she came back from Alberta. So Cindy's back into her routine, the first week of being back in her routine, and doing stuff that she just left off doing when she left. So this week has been kind of an adjustment having Cindy back home, but it's nice waking up to dinner being ready instead of having to warm up something frozen. Yeah, I appreciate having her around. And so I had 2 airporters in the morning after that Monday night. So it's like, okay, just after 4 I get called. I take somebody to the airport, and I'm coming right back into town, and I'm about to book off, and I'm about to go wash the car, and I get another call, and it's not a time call, it's just a call. And I do this call, and it goes to the airport. So 2 airport runs in the morning. Tuesday night I came out, and it was once again slow and quiet, and other drivers were bitching that they weren't making any money, and that it was real slow, and that you know, their day shift guy came back half an hour late. And I said, look man, you got the car for 12 hours. In those 12 hours, okay, so you miss half an hour. Why not keep the car half an hour into his shift if he kept it half an hour into your shift? I said to him, I don't have any problems like that. It's straightforward, it's on the level, you communicate with your day shift, but not everyone has a day shift that they can communicate with. And I will attest to that, having worked with some of these clowns in the past. Want everything their own way, and they'll fuck you over, whatever. Fortunately, I'm not one to be punctual. I don't ever come to work on time. You may have noticed that I said it was 6:33 when I turned this camera on. That's half an hour into my shift, and I don't care. It is what it is. I'm out here for 11 plus hours anyway. If I can't make my living in that time, I might as well just quit and do something else. But of course I stay out till the end. I don't go home. I may feel like going home, but I'll stay out here until the end of my shift. I will milk that baby until not a drop of milk will come out of it no more. I had one woman that Tuesday night get in, and I asked her, so how's your night? She said, how's my night? How about the last 4 years? And she gave me a fucking tirade about the last 4 years, about how she doesn't get enough money from her medical and so on insurance to pay her mortgage, because she's a nurse and she had an operation and she had to have something removed. It was a tumor or something, and then after her tumor was healed right away, she wasn't back to work yet, but she twisted her ankle, and then she couldn't walk anymore, and she couldn't lift people, but she had to keep working because her disability didn't cover the tumor and the twisted ankle, or some fucking thing like this. And she went on and on and on, and she said, I worked hard to be where I am, and now the medical insurance lets me down, and I can't pay my mortgage all the way, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on, wah, wah, wah. And she wanted to stop on the way to get cigarettes, and we stopped to get cigarettes. And I sort of, you know, I think I was sympathetic. I sort of nodded my head, and I said, yeah, every now and then. And then, and you know, I said, well, here we are at our destination, you know, and it was like $12 or something. She was looking for money, and then she found a 10 and a 5, so that was $15. And I said, I can get some change for you. She said, no, I don't want any change. Here, just take all of this. I said, oh, thank you very much. And she said, you know what, you should smile more. You should smile more. You know, I've had a hard time the last 4 years, and you're grumpier than I am. Oh, fuck. Don't you love it when people tell you to smile? And you're not particularly in a rotten mood or anything. You're just tired because you've been in this taxi for 9 hours trying to make a living, and you only just broke even. And maybe the next fare will give you a profit. Anyways, you know, I have no sympathy for her and her highfalutin mortgage. I mean, you know, if you can't live by your means, then you should find a way to live by your means. If your means have suddenly become less than they were, like when I dropped $1,500 a month in income when the recession hit back in 2008, suddenly I couldn't make payments on anything, so, you know, it led me towards bankruptcy. But was I complaining? Smile more, she says. What the fuck? I'm not going to put on a fake smile just for you, bitch. And that's what people in this town, I guess, expect. They expect false sincerity, and they expect you to smile no matter what. But, you know, you can tell when a smile is fake and it's not genuine. I can point out several waitresses that are saccharine, sickeningly sweet, that if they were more real, they would be more enjoyable to have serving at my table instead of being big phonies. And I'm not going to be a big phony. I'm going to be the mirror of what I am feeling. And I will be polite and I will be courteous, yes, but I'm not going to put a fake smile on. I would rather be real. Anyway, I'm not a suck-up. I'm not a faker. I'm not going to do that. Meanwhile, the fare just before hers was really pleasant. And she was appreciative of what I did for her. And later on that morning, I got a call at around 4:30. It was not a time call again, but it also went to the airport. So that's 3 airporters in 2 shifts. That was really good. So that ended up my Tuesday night, although it was not as good as Monday because it was missing an airport run. That the Monday had 2, the Tuesday had 1. It didn't matter. It saved my night, even though it took me 8 or 9 hours to break even. It went okay. Last night I came out. That was Wednesday night. It was also kind of slow. It was also really, you know, it took me till 2 o'clock to break even. And then just as I was breaking even, I got sent to a convenience store. And just as I'm pulling into the driveway of the convenience store, I see a cab loading through the bushes on the street. And of course it's my fare because there was nobody else around. And how come this guy went and loaded my fare? Anyway, I don't want customers who are going to call me and then take someone else anyway. So, the next fare was a good one. It was a young couple going from the north end all the way down into James Bay. And I had another one after that from the north end going down into the James Bay. The guy dropped his car off at this dealership here to be worked on, and I took him all the way down to James Bay. So that was 2 good fares in a row there, and I think I was at the point of making about $40 for myself. And it was like 5:15, so I didn't have an hour left to go. So I picked up this guy at a street corner, which was a couple of blocks away from the parking lot where I usually sit in. And he got in and said, "Take me to the Travelodge." I said, "Okay, Travelodge in Sydney." So Travelodge in Sydney, $58 fare rather than Travelodge on the Gorge, which would have been like a $10 fare. Very nice. I got into town just enough time to shake out the mats, fuel up, and park it. I didn't bother to wash it just because it wasn't all that dirty. I had washed it the shift before, and it wasn't grimy. The pavement was relatively dry. So that was my week up to now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now it is Thursday. Thursday, I was 6th in the zone when I booked on. What, 16 minutes ago? I'm 2nd in the zone now. There are only 2 cars. Oh yeah. Sometime in the next couple days, I'll see you when I see you. Okay. It's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I think I've made a whole $30 for myself after working all night. Excuse me. I must have drank my coffee too fast, so it's giving me the burps. It's been long. I finished reading a book. It's James P. Hogan, The Genesis Machine. I had about 100 pages to go when I started tonight, and I finished reading that book at about 2. And I got a fair number of trips. It's just that so many of them were short. So many of them were like about $5, $7, and $6. I had a whole string of short ones like that. You don't make a lot of money when you've got $6 fares and you've got a $110 lease. At least I didn't go very far, so I don't think my fuel bill is going to be much. I'm pretty sure the fuel bill will be $10 or less. That is, unless, of course, I get a run to the airport or something like that, like I've been getting every other morning this week. It is it's almost 5. So maybe I can snag a 5 o'clock time call to get me out to the airport. Otherwise, I will have made myself about $30 tonight. And look at that, the camera decided to point itself another way. That's, I think, because I went around the corner. So yeah, this has been quite the bust tonight. Fortunately, more of it was cash tonight, and there was some charges, yes, but I had more charges than I needed earlier in the week, so I got about $80 in charges. And if you put that together with the 350 in charges I had before, that's about 430 in charges. And it's $510 for the lease. So I only need about $80 in charges tomorrow night to get my lease completely paid in full. So I've done reasonably alright with cash. It's a good thing because I gotta get some groceries on Saturday night, and I gotta do some laundry Saturday morning just to get by, just 2 weeks of laundry. And it's just been a quiet night. I'm not thinking very well. My mind is on slow-mo. Just because the night has been so slow. Anyway, if nothing memorable happens in the next hour or so before I park this thing, I'll get to you tomorrow. Let you know how the Friday night went. It's about 5:13 in the morning. It was fairly busy. It was a reasonably okay Friday. I'm very much tired. I'm glad it's almost over. Yeah, I did really well. I was busy until midnight, and then it went quiet for about an hour, and then I started getting busy again after 1 until about, I guess almost 4 o'clock. And then it got quiet, and that's where it is right now. So I might do one more fare. We'll see. Well, I hope yours is better than mine. Nothing really crazy or wacko to report, except the girl who went to get her. She brought a dog with her, and then she made a big production out of going back to the house to get the leash. And then she came into the cab with the leash, and then the dog farted on the way to where we were going. And then I dropped her off and took care of all that. Then the next customer gets in and says, "What's a leash doing here on the floor?" So I had to put that in the lost and found. I think I'm just going to add up my I'm going to add up my stuff from the night, my charges, and then after I've done that, I'm just going to go and wash it and park it, because I've had enough. Did I say I hope yours is better than mine? Yeah, I hope it is.